Hey guys, Will here again with Happily Ever Outdoors. So today I wanted to talk to you about the Schrade SCHBOLO. Now this is not a knife that's new to the market. It's actually been out for several years now. So I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this video. I'm going into all the details of it. But I did want to talk about it. This was a blade that I actually picked up used in a set of knives that I bought off a guy who runs another channel on YouTube. And it's just a really good, heavy, utilitarian kind of blade. So we'll take a look at it real quick. So this knife does come in a heavy-duty nylon sheath that also has an attached pouch with a ferro fire starter as well as a sharpening stone. This pouch is also removable. You can see the Velcro that holds it on there, as well as a Velcro strap that wraps around the back. This knife does also come with an included nylon strap so that you could carry this thing like on your back if you chose to. When I bought it, it was just missing the strap, but that would be something you'd get if you purchased this new. You can see there is a retention strap here to help hold it into the sheath, as well as two buttons here on the side to make this thing easier to remove from the sheath and to make sure it's nice and secure when you do put it away. Pulling this thing out of the sheath, first impressions, this is a very, very large blade. I'll go ahead and put the exact dimensions up there on the screen for you, but it is very large. It also is very thick. Again, I'll go ahead and put the thickness up on the screen there for you. It has a rubber coated, TPE rubber coated handle, which has a nice ergonomic shape to it. You can see that is definitely designed with chopping in mind. You can see it has a nice hook to the back there, so that will help to hold your hand in there. And this is good, sturdy rubber right here. This is not going to tear or come apart easily. You can see they built some texture in right there and right there. And it does have a lanyard hole built in right there. And this is very, soft without being too soft. Gives you plenty of cushion though. It's really going to help to absorb a lot of the vibration, which you're going to need with a really heavy blade like this, because we're going to be doing some heavy chopping with it. This is comfortable to handle with gloves or without gloves. I've done plenty of chopping with this with no gloves to test it out, but I will be wearing gloves in this video just because that's my preference. Doing heavy work like this, I prefer to just preserve my hands when I can. This blade has what Schrade refers to as a titanium finish on it. So it is not painted, so that's not the type of finish that is going to rub off over time. And it is constructed of 3CR13 stainless steel. This is full tang, by the way. The metal goes all the way up inside the handle. This blade comes in at a hefty 1.69 pounds. With a blade thickness of 4 millimeters, the Schrade SCHBOLO can handle some seriously heavy chopping. So a couple of things about this blade, guys. This is definitely not meant to be a pretty knife. This is a heavy use utilitarian type blade. You can see that from the finish. You can see that from the oversized rubber grip handle and the really thick blade they've got on this thing. This is made for work, and that's exactly what it does. This is also not a machete in the sense of like brush clearing, again, because it is so thick. So this is not going to be for like cutting grass and jungle vegetation, things like that. This is really built for like forest use, chopping wood and stuff, more like what you would see in North America. Also, this thing is not made to have a crazy sharp edge to it, and I do not have this thing super sharp right now. Why? Because this is for heavy chopping. If you make a really sharp, really fine edge, then that's going to be easier for it to chip. You're not really using this thing to do like fine carving, things like that. You're using this just to chop up wood. So you want to have a sharp edge, but a good working edge that's going to be strong and that's going to take a beating. Again, I purchased this blade used, but it was in fairly close to new condition when I got it. Right off the bat, it's fairly heavy. Almost 2 pounds, 1 3/4 pounds, basically. It's a good sized blade. Nice and thick, super strong. I mean, like, this does not flex at all. It's definitely stout. Rubber handle is very practical. It's very comfortable. I like the fact that it sticks out right there and right there, which really helps to keep it in your hand, whether you're wearing gloves or not. So that's really nice as far as that's concerned. Again, nothing super fancy, but it does feel pretty well balanced in your hand, and under heavy use, chopping things like that, you can definitely see where the weight of the blade does a lot of the work for you, which you guys are going to see in a second here. Okay guys, so without going too overkill, I'm going to do a couple of quick demonstrations just so you guys can see what this thing is capable of. Now I'm pretty sure that you guys saw me having a little bit of trouble with batoning in this video. Unfortunately, the pieces of wood that I had handy weren't that great. A lot of really twisted up pieces with big knots. But you guys could see from that video, you know, I still managed brute force to bust my way through. And the blade is just fine. You can see the edge right there. No damages, no chipping, nothing like that. So it took all the abuse that I put it through. It's big and it's heavy, so it's not the best knife for everyone. I definitely wouldn't take it backpacking with me anytime soon. But as far as heavy chores, like around the camp, it might be just what you're looking for. Also, if you're wondering why I didn't really focus on the included ferro as well as the knife sharpener, it's because honestly they're not anything to really get excited about. Very basic, pretty much what you would expect as a freebie with a knife. I've already got stuff of my own that's works better for me, so I don't think that really adds a ton of value to the product. But that pouch is nice, having that attached to the sheath. I'm not even going to spend time demonstrating doing feather sticks or fine carving tasks or anything like that, because you can do them, but you can't do them well, because this knife is not designed for that. So in a pinch, maybe, but if you're expecting to be a jack of all trades, do everything knife, I don't think there's such a thing. By the way, just FYI, technically this really isn't a bolo style machete. This is more of a barong. And no, that's not me mispronouncing parang. Barong is actually another blade. I don't think a lot of people are super familiar with it. So I guess that's why Schrade decided to go with SCHBOLO. SCH barong is probably a little tougher to market, but just so you know. Alright folks, so what are my thoughts on the Schrade SCHBOLO? It does what it's advertised to do. It's definitely a heavy use tool, very strong, very stout, nothing pretty to look at, but it gets the job done. Now if I had to choose between the two, I also have a Schrade SCH 43, also known as the Jessica X, and it's similar in the sense that it's a heavy use tool like this. If I had to choose between the two, that's what I would choose over this. But that being said, this is it's a pretty good tool, and for right around 40 bucks, what you can pick it up for right now, it's really not a bad deal. Alright folks, this concludes our review of the Schrade SCHBOLO, a big, beefy budget blade built for heavy tasks. Feel free to leave your comments and questions below. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to look us up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and our blog.